Welcome into Sports Idiot Nation. Today is Monday, March 23rd. That means we are still in the heart of March Madness basketball. So I brought in my pal Bryce to talk about why he's so excited, why that shot from Vandy went out. Also, we're probably going to have to take 2 hours and talk about the Big Ten because all they do is win. And we know that what you're looking for is a one-stop shop for all things flag football. So this is going to be the episode where we just dive in and give you all of the plays.
No. Everybody come back.
Kidding. Sports, comedy, pop culture, and everything in between. By idiots, for idiots.
This is Sports Idiot Nation.
Sports, comedy, pop culture, and everything in between. Welcome back, sinners. This is Season 2 of Sports Idiot Nation.
Welcome in. We are in the middle, kind of the middle of March Madness. We still got a long way to go. So I brought in our old pal Bryce to talk all things college basketball. I'll talk about madness. I'll be honest, Bryce, I don't know where to start, so I guess we'll start with Tom Brady and Logan Paul since I don't know where to start. That maybe is a good place to start. I was telling you before the show this morning that I caught about 18 seconds of this flag football shenanigans, and that was about 19 seconds more than what I should have, and I don't understand what we're doing, and I don't understand the balls of Fox, the sheer balls to go up against March Madness, which is the greatest thing in sports history, is an entire month dedicated to one and done, win or go home situation, and now we're gonna have men parade around and just toss the football around and some guys some guys you don't know, hosted by Druski, which if you are a fan of the show, you know my hatred of Druski being on the TV every 17 seconds, whether it's a T-Mobile commercial or he's at the NBA All-Star game acting goofy, or he's on an award show mispronouncing Smith and Jigba on purpose and making a scene. Get off the TV, Druski. All right, I'm done. I'm off my soapbox. What are your thoughts on this football deal?
So, you've heard people say, in the off season, any football is good football. People are just itching for football. I'm curious to know what these people would say about this, because I'm sure there are some people who tuned into this because it's football, and it's come on. I mean, it was objectively not fun to watch. It wasn't entertaining. I mean, they had all these big names to try to draw, and I mean, like you said, Fox thought it was going to do numbers. All this stuff to make it entertaining, and it wasn't entertaining to me. I could barely watch it. I think I watched maybe 2 minutes of it.
Dude, just too much, yeah.
It was pretty funny seeing Joe Burrow throw a pick six to some nobody, and then Tom Brady still looked like he could probably play. Other than that, I don't really have any takeaways from it. It was something.
So here's my takeaway. You and I are not a Bengals fan, and we don't care if the franchise falls into the Ohio River.
That's correct.
But can you imagine if you were, and you're seeing Joe Burrow, all these hits to the ACL or to the, you're what on earth is our franchise quarterback? What is he doing? Ridiculous.
Jaden Daniels is the first time you've seen him on the field in 6 months. And let's get these two quarterbacks.
Tom Brady said, I'm glad Jaden Daniels' mom let him play.
Right. I'm kind of surprised she did, to be honest. Can you imagine how stupid you'd look and how pissed your fans would be if you shredded your Achilles in a flag football game for 38,000 people?
Well, Gronk pulled up limp with a hammy, supposedly. I don't know if that was a publicity stunt or not, but all right, we've spent about 4 minutes too long on this already. I just thought it was ridiculous and wanted to make sure you're on the same page because I was going to boot you off the show. If you're like, I loved every minute, I couldn't get enough, and my favorite guy is Druski. Like, well, that's our show. God. Bryce, see yourself out.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of
big Druski guy.
Big Druski guy. I love it when he's inserted into sports that he knows nothing about.
Oh my God, dude. Yeah, like get out of here. Yeah, I like maybe do a skit or two on Saturday Night Live and just then be done. I mean, whatever.
I agree.
So, all right, let's get into the round ball madness. So here's where I want to start. What I'll leave it to you. What matchup from the weekend was the biggest head scratcher when you look at the box score and see who won?
That's interesting. So
there's only one answer. Come on now.
Where are you going here?
Oh, Florida.
Yeah. Well,
out of all the matchups, I mean, there's a lot of good games. St. John's. How about Vandy? The Vandy shot. I mean, right? I know you're close, right, to that area.
So it's funny because like you are not a Nashville guy, so I'm assuming you are either neutral or think Vandy's kind of cool because they're the underdog.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
like
have
most of America.
I'm not most of America. I have a visceral hatred. Sure. I have a visceral hatred for Vandy, and it was hilarious. I'm so glad that it rimmed out in devastating fashion. I'm glad it was close because for a split second they were happy, and then it got taken away. That was hilarious. But I mean, Tanner is a great player, though. I do got to give him props.
Yeah.
It reminds me of the very reminiscent of the Gordon Hayward shot from like 2010. I'm sure you remember.
I live in Indiana, and there was a lot of people posting like, "Oh my God, Gordon Hayward!" Yeah. Like, you know.
Well, it's even a similar team too, like Vanderbilt and Butler. It's like, you know, like the scrappy underdog that, you know.
Oh yeah.
So that was the parallel I noticed. But yeah, Florida. So I'm also not a Florida fan, obviously.
No.
But I was rooting for them for bracket purposes. I thought they, you know, defending champs. I thought they'd make it to the Elite Eight. I think I had them in the Elite Eight. But Iowa, man, Iowa is scrappy. Iowa is. I mean, if they play this game, I'm going to be honest. It's March Madness, which is why we all love it. But if they play this game 10 times, Florida wins 9 of them, I think.
Yeah, they win 11 of them.
Yeah, I mean that's my takeaway.
So let me ask you a question. I was talking to a friend. We were watching basketball all weekend, and we went head to head in some brackets, and so we're like dissecting them. And I asked her, "Okay, would you rather?" So here we go. I'm gonna ask you. So you got your bracket filled out, and you're watching a marquee matchup with a 1 or a 2 seed. So it could be Iowa State, it could be Florida, Duke, you know, against Siena, whatever. If in the second half, here's the rule. It's under 10 minutes and the underdog is winning. Now, I don't care if it's 2-15, if it's 1-16, if it's 3, whatever it is. But the underdog is winning in the second half under 10 minutes. Are you A, wanting just for sheer fun of March Madness, are you going for the underdog? Or B, there's no way you called that and your bracket would explode, and so you're thinking selfishly of your bracket. Now, there's technically no wrong answer, and I can see either way. But so I want to leave it to you. What's your take on that?
So I do find myself rooting against my own best interest because of the story and because it's funny. Like you want the underdog story. I mean, that's what people tune into March Madness for.
We're in content creation. We're in content creation. We want that content.
gives you the stories. It gives you something to talk about. So I have found myself like I'll be watching a game with my father-in-law or something, and I'll notice like I'll be laughing my ass off because some top seed's like about to go down. And then I'm like, oh, well, this is actually really going to screw me. But in the moment, I don't care. I'm just like, you know what? Let's get it.
I want to offer this up.
Okay.
It destroys your bracket, correct?
Yeah.
Keep in mind, it destroyed everybody.
That's a good point. Yeah, that's true.
That's why I single-handedly, 1,000,000,000% always want the underdog to win. Because there's no one else that would be like, oh, I called Siena over Duke. Or remember when Lehigh actually beat them or whatever. Like, come on. No one called that unless you put $1 on, and you place the bet just out of sheer, like, okay, $1 to win 100 or, whatever it is. Like, the odds are crazy. Other than that, no, you did not. Like, no one believes you if you called that. Or like Purdue a couple of years, no one called that. I hate Purdue, but even I didn't think they'd lose in the opening round with Zach Edey. Like, get out of here. So that's what I'll say. That's why I root for the underdog, because if I'm going head to head or I'm in a tournament or like whatever, I'm even with everyone else because they lost too. So
that's a good point. I mean, here lately though, I mean, I'm sure we'll talk about it, but the past couple seasons, if you just go straight chalk, you're going to be in pretty good shape. And I try to get too cute every year. I never learn. I was convinced Hofstra was going to beat Alabama, and now Alabama's run ruling Texas Tech in the second round. They ruled them.
Which that's a story because we were all nervous about picking Alabama because their players are getting
100%,
in jail. Like, so it's like, but they do score it well, and you can take a missing piece out, and if you're a well-oiled machine, hey, you can still score a lot of points, and that's
and you also have to, Adam, you have to think about this too. The legal issues at Alabama, you cannot factor that in because they're used to it. They're used to having to play with
in
every sport. They're used to having players get arrested.
Are they the Georgia of?
They're the original Georgia. Where do you think Kirby Smart learned his tricks from? That's
fair.
Yeah, but I mean, it was yesterday they put a beating on Texas Tech, which was a little impressive. But
speaking of the Georgia of basketball, I saw this. What do you think about this? Gonzaga basketball is the Oregon football.
Yeah, that's
they're always like.
They're always in it, yeah.
But they always like, this is the year. You never take them seriously at the end, and they always, and sometimes they disappoint you way earlier than they should, like this weekend, right?
Well, let me ask you this. So this is like an age-old sports question, and I'm kind of in it right now because, Rick Barnes, obviously at Tennessee, makes the Sweet 16 every year, but, isn't going to go further than that. Let me ask you this. Would you prefer to be sweet? You're either guaranteed in football, you're going to make the college football playoff every year, but you're going to lose in the first or second round. Or, in basketball, make the Sweet 16 every year, but never get farther. Would you rather have that? Or would you rather 5 years in a row, you suck ass and then you might get lucky and
make the Elite Eight Final Four or something.
It's a trade-off. Do you want consistently good but not great? Because I mean, I think most Gonzaga fans are probably pretty happy with the last decade and a half.
Yeah.
The
Mark Few era.
Most people would kill to have 30 wins a season, is my point.
Oh, yeah. The Miami of Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
Here's my thing. I always want to be in the right ocean. I want to be, if everything's going on in the ocean, I don't want to be in some lake where nothing is happening. And you think of I live in Indiana, so Indiana football, they were terrible, always terrible, and then all of a sudden, boom, they're good. Or would you rather be Ohio State where you're always maybe in it? I'd rather be Ohio State, man. It's it's a culture. And when you're in the right ocean, the other ships could sink themselves and you could come out on top, meaning some guys could be injured. You never know. So on my 49er podcast, I interviewed Jesse Sapolu, who was a Pro Bowl center for Steve Young and Joe Montana. I got to interview him on the podcast. And me and my buddy Johnny Dell, who's been on this program many a time, we flat out asked him, Jesse, we are spoiled Niner fans, right? So tell us, keep us in check. Are we jaded? The fact that, the 49ers, like, and he said, look, what you don't understand is how there are 15 NFL franchises. So now I'll say 100 college basketball teams, probably 100 at least, who would love to be in the 49ers position where they're proverbial, like, in the hunt. All you want is to give yourself a chance. Do you think the New Orleans Saints have a chance in this decade? Are they showing anything? Do the Cleveland Browns give you any inkling over the next 10 years? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I can run through 10 more teams, the Jets, the Dolphins, right? So my question is then, if you understand that just being in and around the playoffs in anything, the NFL, in March Madness, that you will take that because it is special every time. Right. Now, it sucks if you're the Rick Barnes or the Mark Few or because you've never gone over the hump. Hello, Kyle Shanahan has never, he's the Andy Reid. Before Andy Reid went to the Chiefs, Kyle Shanahan is the new Andy Reid. Like, he's a bum because he hasn't won yet, right? But come on, you know football enough to know that Kyle Shanahan is a very good coach. And if the Titans had him, now you do have my ex-49ers Saleh, but if the Titans, had Shanahan, come on, you guys would be jumping for joy. He's not a bum,
29 teams probably would trade their coach for Shanahan. So
yeah, so it's like, and 100 teams, there you go. 100 teams in college basketball would like to have Rick Barnes.
Absolutely.
That's just the way it is. Now, I get it. Here's a stat for you. Rick Pitino just became the third coach in college basketball history. Some guy in like the 1940s, 50s, or 60s, whatever it was, John Calipari and Rick Pitino, the only coach to take 4 teams to a Sweet 16. You don't think there's 150 schools that wouldn't want, Pitino? Good Lord. Everywhere he goes, there might be 10% controversy, but 90% sheer winning. Winning.
This is a rabbit hole. You can stop me if I'm going too deep. But with Pitino, the hookers in the dorm thing, it is the stupidest, in my opinion. I might lose a lot of the audience here, but in my opinion, give that man back his accomplishments because, yes, morally, probably not the best thing to be doing, but neither is, your star player supplying a gun that kills a pregnant woman and you let him play on the team. I don't see Nate Oates getting any repercussions. It's just it's hypocritical. I know it was a different time, but if you don't think, I'm not going to say all, but if you don't think the vast majority of college coaches have done morally questionable things, Rick Pitino just happened to get caught. But yeah, I've always had a problem with that. Like, we got to pretend that 2013 Louisville team didn't exist because he might have not done everything above board. Like, give me a break. Like, we all know.
So we talk about IU basketball. Kelvin Sampson sent a text message in, I believe it was August, and you can't do it till September. I could be off, but you get the gist.
Yep.
And by the way, if Kelvin Sampson this year in 2026 sent that text, it's not illegal. It's perfectly legal now, but it wasn't then. And they got rid of him. And look at what Kelvin Sampson has done, by the way. And look where IU is. Like, what are we doing? Like,
I don't
it's
think
just so stupid.
This might be like newer basketball fans might not realize what Houston was like before Kelvin Sampson got there. Um, Historically,
Clyde
not.
Drexler, and Akeem Olajuwon, but
Well,
other than
back
that,
then,
other than that,
between that and between those guys, and then like 2015, just nobody thought about Houston basketball.
No,
I mean, so and then we can talk about them, what they did. I mean, what they've done so far. I mean, neither of their games have been even remotely close for a single second.
Dude, their defense, it's always been his calling card, and it's why every single bracket, millions of people have Houston always now in the last 5-10 years advancing because defense travels.
Yep.
Whether you're playing in New York, San Jose, Texas, Carolina, wherever your games are, it doesn't matter, because even if you're having trouble putting the ball in the hole, as long as you're preventing the other team from doing it, which that's their calling card, then your momentum will take you and you can advance. And look at what Houston's done the last 5 years.
It's funny that you mentioned that, because in their Texas A&M game, like round 2, Houston only shot 26% from deep.
Yeah, dude.
And
that's 44%.
44%. They still put up 88 points at him. They shot 44% from the field.
Yeah,
and they
88
still
to 57.
won. And they still won by 30 points. This could have been a 100-point game if they shot average.
Yeah, 18 for 52, 6 of 24. Now, they did make 78% as a team free throws. But I mean, you look at that was Texas Tech. They were 20 of 25, so 80%. But offensive rebounds, they doubled up what Texas Tech did. They share the ball well. So offensive rebound, points in the paint, second chance points, fast break points, those are all things that added up, for sure. And they played the game in Oklahoma City, but if it wasn't, like I said, in Carolina or San Jose or Spokane, it wouldn't matter.
Nope.
It truly wouldn't matter. So now you look at it and it's like, it doesn't matter who they play. They're going to be a 1, 2, or 3 seed. And so you're just always going to pick them to advance pretty far. What did you think of, I want to talk Duke and TCU, because when you just look at the box score and see that the second half score was 43-24, you simply say, okay, Duke did their job and it was a blowout. Not so fast, my friend.
Yeah.
Because it was a lot closer with, was it like around 6 to 7 minutes left? It was literally tied at 60, I think, something like that.
I wanted to look at that, because I'm
not
pretty sure it was tied at 50.
Scored 58.
It was tied 50. At 50. So I remember thinking that. Because I was out to dinner with my wife, and I remember looking at it, and it was like 50-50 at one point. And I was thinking, oh my God, like, what is up with Duke? Like, they scraped by Siena.
I know.
And then, they have this. And I'm thinking, what's going on? Well, then they start looking like Duke. Cam Boozer kind of takes it. It was 40-40, my bad. Not 50-50.
Okay.
It was 40-40.
Yeah.
But they kept it close up until, it was 53-44 at one point. So, they kept it close, and then TCU just, we're not going to score anymore. We're done scoring, and Duke is like, well, we just started.
They're tuckered out. And I like, is it Jamie Dixon, right? Over there?
Yes.
Who used to be at Pitt for a while. And I like him. He's been doing it a while. I respect him. And
that's why it's impressive. Yeah. TCU, you wouldn't even think TCU would have. A lot of people, I think it was like 70% of people picked Ohio State to beat TCU in the first round. So, but
well, that was them in Wisconsin were the Big Ten blemishes, right? Let's talk through that a little bit. So, did you think, when you look at, man, if when Mick Cronin got that tech, that's what blew it for UCLA. They were coming back, they were down 2, and they just got deflated. So UCLA overall strong because they didn't have their best player. You look at that real quick.
Right.
How many teams without their best player would have done as well as Mick Cronin's squad? So the Big Ten, you got UCLA, Ohio State did not have a good showing, I would say. And it's funny, they were the very, 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 very first game of the whole tournament, and like, hey, they're out. Okay, cool. But the Big Ten really, I mean, I posted this to my Facebook. This may be the most not picked Sweet 16 game in the history of the tournament, because here's why. Nebraska has never, ever, 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 ever won
not a single game
in the tournament.
Yeah.
And now they won, not one, but now they're in the Sweet 16. And Iowa had no business, as we talked about, beating Florida. So now that's the Sweet 16 matchup. That has to be like, no one picked that.
No, I mean, because you look at, I mean, there's SEC bias in basketball too. I mean, I think most people just look at the names and think, well, Florida, you know, defending champs, 1 seed, they're going to take care of Iowa. I mean, I thought so. I thought Florida was way too athletic.
The whole country did.
What annoys me is Wisconsin High Point. So the reason that game annoys me is because it went exactly how I thought it would go. I told on my podcast, I said it's going to be like 98-96.
Yeah.
The only difference is I picked Wisconsin to come away with it at the end. So I'm pretty pissed about that, because I thought that everybody was going to pick High Point because they went in the tournament last year. You know, they have incredible 3-point shooting. They're like the trendy 12 over 5. I was like, everybody's going to pick High Point, so they're not going to win. Well, you know, of course. So just how it goes.
Yeah. So let's do this, because I want to remind everyone what we're doing. In a couple days, we're going to go back to our Wednesday format for the tournament is our March movie madness. And so we won't talk any hoops. And so I want to go through with you now the matchups that are left for Thursday. So I want to start with, Thursday the 26th, the matchups are set. And I want to start with, we talked about Iowa, Nebraska. I want to dive a little deeper. So this is like, it's so cool to see teams that know each other play. Like, there's something to be said about, you know, if Gonzaga plays Furman and they don't know anything about, like, right? And it's like, okay, you just got to do your homework. But it's like when the 49ers play the Seahawks, it's fun on Thursday night football because, hey, you know, they know each other really well. Well, this is going to be fun. You know, the 9 versus the 4, like, you know, that's going to be super fun. Is there a way to tell the early odds, say, Nebraska by 2.5? I'm throwing that completely out the window, as these teams are like. But do you give an edge to anyone in particular? I mean, you look at points per game; they're 75 points, 77 points. Like,
they're
just so similar. They're so similar.
Kind of random, but do you think this might be the whitest Sweet 16 matchup of all time? I think there's like 4 black players in this game.
Well, let's see. If Gonzaga and did Gonzaga and Wisconsin ever face off? Because, you know, Wisconsin's typically good.
BYU pre-NIL.
Yeah, pre-NIL. Let's see, BYU pre-NIL. They paid all that money for that guy, and they didn't even do anything. And it's like,
right.
Well, you spent all that money. Are you happy with your purchase? Like,
are you happy?
He balled out, but he's gone now. He's going to be gone.
So he had to like convert religions. He converted religions to get bounced. Like, that's
convert back.
That's dirty work. Iowa, Nebraska, though, I think you know. Here's the thing: Iowa just took down a 1 seed. You got to think, you know, there could be a kind of a hangover there. Anytime you're playing against a team like Florida, that's going to take a lot out of you.
Hangover. They've never been there, dude.
Nebraska's never.
They don't know what they're supposed to be doing.
I mean,
do we eat lunch now? What do we do, Coach?
Yeah, I mean, this is a whole new routine. This is a whole new routine. Fred Hoiberg's never been here, I don't think. But you have all this. Iowa has been at Sturts, a guy who's won in March before, a head coach that's won in March before. It really is as true as a toss-up as you could be. I mean, it's in Texas too, so they're both going to have, you think they both have pretty good representation there.
Mm-hmm.
In the regular season, they split it. Of course they did. So
that's what I'm saying. There's no
split
edge,
the season
dude.
series. They're very similar in stat-wise. I think Nebraska's defense is slightly better.
May the most exciting Whites team win.
Yeah,
I don't know
exactly.
That's going to be.
Exactly.
But I will be locked in. I mean, at this point,
all
the
great.
matchups have a storyline.
It's great. I mean, this is not, like you said, nobody predicted this. It's two teams that you literally never see in the Sweet 16. I mean, you couldn't ask for anything more.
I'm not trying to be recency biased. I'm really not. I think as I get older, you know, I've been taught on PTI by Wilbon. Like, he's always says, you know, Tony, we're not going to be recency biased. So for 20 years, I've been thinking that. But I got to be honest, I don't know of a Sweet 16 matchup that is more bizarre and more like no one called this. I'm saying with either team, when you have a team that's never, ever, 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 as a Power 5 conference, never won a tournament game, and then you have a team who beat the reigning national champs, in which those champs just didn't make the tournament as a 4, 5, 6 seed. No, they're a 1 seed. So when you throw that into the mix, I would implore you to find a crazier Sweet 16 matchup. It doesn't exist. It's not out there. It's wild.
Yeah.
There's nothing like it. I've been thinking through it since it happened. I was getting on Google, on chat. I was like looking at old matchups, even ones that I wouldn't know from like the early 80s or something.
Right.
And it's like basketball was different then. There wasn't even a field of 64 all like long ago. So like, no, this is the most craziest Sweet 16 matchup in the history of March Madness. I'm stamping it as that, and it's so cool to see. Let's stay in the Big Ten because Illinois then also plays Thursday against who we were talking about, Houston. Yep. Now this is chalk because it's number 2 versus number 3. This is the way it was supposed to be. And I like the way Illinois handled VCU because VCU had a little bit of a darling slipper going on there with Martelli coaching. I love seeing a Martelli coach. Yeah. But they drubbed him. So does that give them momentum? But geez, I just think Houston by double digits is what I'm thinking.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. If Illinois isn't, and I mean, granted, they have been hitting their shots for most of the season. If they are even slightly off, they haven't played a defense like Houston, first of all, other than Michigan. Michigan's close. But if you're playing against a team like Houston, if there's no room for error, there's zero room for error. Like we just talked about, Texas A&M could barely get 50 on this team. I mean, you're going to have the shooting. Keaton Wagler is going to have the game of his life. I just don't see this is probably one of the craziest like stat spreads of the Sweet 16. So Illinois is averaging 85 points a game. Houston only allows 62. Something's gonna give, and
yeah, exactly.
You have to go with the defense.
We know what it is. We think we know what that's gonna be.
Yeah.
Sure. I do have by double digits. I have Houston. I'm going to say this. We're sticking with the Big Ten because on Thursday, Purdue, this is going to be a really, really fun game. I am excited about an 11 versus a 2. Mark Few did not think that Texas deserves any shade or any like Cinderella talk. Texas is a good team. So Purdue is clicking on all cylinders. Who do you have the edge going to in this one?
Edge, I think, would still be to Purdue. But this is because, like you said, we're used to Purdue choking in the postseason. We're used to
any minute now. It could happen any minute.
It could happen at any minute, and this just seems like the game where it could be. The problem is, though, is I think Purdue against Texas's defense, like Texas does not have a very good defense. I think Purdue will be able to score on them. I think Purdue will be able to control the pace. It is a cool run for Texas, but I don't think it goes much further. I think Purdue has one more in them before they screw it up.
I think so too. And here's my reasoning: is seniors on a program like UConn, Florida, Kentucky, Purdue, UCLA, Michigan State. There's about 20 schools that I can name that if you have a heavy senior laden team, then I'm gonna pick you. And that is exactly what Purdue has. I mean, Braden Smith's very first assist ever was to Kaufman-Renn. And what was the one that broke the record? To Kaufman-Renn.
That's insane.
What?
These days, that's
beyond insane.
In 2005, you wouldn't have thought anything about that stat, but now it's like, I mean,
this guy's leaving and like
incredibly impressive. And plus, you got to think like all these guys have been there before. I mean, I know, like I said, it's fun to make fun of them because they always choke, but there is value in that. I mean, these guys have played together for years, most of them.
Yeah.
It's a coach who is in these situations every year.
And he chokes every time, but he's still there. This is the old adage
Illinois,
that we just talked about.
Yeah,
Would you rather look? Purdue fans are starting to get spoiled, like 49er fans. And never win the big one. But hey, you are better than your arch rival IU, and you're always in the tournament as a high seed, like always.
Yeah.
So you can't complain.
No, I don't think any of them. I mean, I'm sure they're probably, especially with Edey, one of those Edey years, they probably definitely
they ran into a buzzsaw in UConn. No one was beating them. I'm sorry. It was UConn's year. That wasn't, I'll be honest, that wasn't a choke job. It's not choking if the other guy's better than you.
Yeah, that's fair.
If I beat you in Madden, it's because I'm really good at Madden. It's not because you choked.
That's fair.
So that's the one year where Purdue didn't choke. They just ran into a buzzsaw. Now they've choked plenty of times. So we'll see which Purdue team comes not this week, because I do think with you that they get it done. But we'll see who they run into then, and we'll see if the choke job comes back into the situation. So that ends our 47-minute segment on the Big Ten. So now we can talk about John Calipari and number 1 Arizona, who for a second last night was also, I was kind of had one eyeball on that one too. And I was like, why is Arizona letting Utah State? Why are they playing with their food? I think is the best way to say it. And then they stopped playing with their food and just got them.
Yeah. I mean, I do give Utah State some credit. They're a great shooting team. They're a team that I did predict to move on to this round. But I mean, it's as simple as their shots weren't falling yesterday. I mean, they shot like 20%, and when you're playing against a team that's arguably the most well-rounded team in this tournament, you're not going to win. So that's this is what we talked about earlier, though, with Arizona and Arkansas. This is kind of in that realm, because in my bracket that matters to me, I have Arizona winning it all. And I'm still conflicted here because Arkansas is interesting to me. If I kind of want Cal to win, I'm going to be completely honest, because
shove it to Kentucky?
Yes, it would be hilarious, because Kentucky's out and they thought Cal was the problem and they thought he was just so bad. And it's like, okay, well, we'll see. We'll see how that goes. I mean, Arkansas has already made it further than Kentucky 2 years in a row. So
I like Calipari for this reason. He's a great interview, first of all.
yes.
Everything he's ever done, you can't get enough of him when he's talking. And he keeps it real in a way that makes you feel stupid for disagreeing with him. I love that because that's how I like to be. Like,
well, so
the one and dones. His take on one and dones, like, all right, this is how it is. Krzyzewski's gonna try and go against it and really try and keep these players. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna send every single one of my guys to the NBA, and you know what? I'm still gonna win. And it's gonna piss you off, but I'm taking care of these guys' livelihoods and their mothers, who I'm staring in their face, saying, "I'm gonna take care of your son." Like, he literally said this stuff. It's like, man, you can't be mad at that guy for that.
It's surprising that he lasted as long as he did in Kentucky, like, and didn't leave on his own, because he is so not a culture fit. Right. But here's the thing. Like, everybody acts like he pretends to be some choir boy, like some good Southern boy or something. He doesn't pretend to do anything. He's never been like, he's always been authentically Cal.
Yeah, from UMass fans, and Marcus Camby.
They have sour grapes about it now. You remember the old Temple coach who like tried to like fist fight him at the press conference at one time? John Chaney. Yeah, he like tried to like kill him at a press conference one time. It's like, this is just who he is, man. And you just have to you're either a hater or you just respect it. And I mean, dude, he's beaten my team's ass. He's beaten my team's ass for years, and I just respect him. It's like Patrick Mahomes. Like, I don't hate Patrick Mahomes because it just feels like cheap to hate. You know, don't hate greatness.
Right. No, I'm with you, and I just think that he's authentic, and he tells you to your face how it is. And you know, stories of him telling moms, "Hey, your son doesn't play hard, so he's going to sit the bench. If you don't like it, tough." And then the moms come out every time loving him for it, because then the moms get on their son, say, "Hey, you better start trying harder in practice." And then boom, you know, he goes out and gets 20 points and works his butt off.
Now, there might be somebody who sucks, who like didn't get playing time, who like regrets playing for Cal. But I think you'd be very hard pressed to find somebody who regretted playing for Cal.
Same thing with Patino. I was looking, you know, last night they were talking about the coaching staffs and how the referees had a tough game because they had Mick Cronin and Hurley, right? And it's like, you know, those players at the end of the day, in 10 years from now, will probably respect the idea
100%.
Of, hey, I got to play under this guy. He held me accountable, and he yelled at me when I needed it. I was a punk 19-year-old. You know,
you can very clearly like separate the people who played sports in high school and who didn't, because if you hear Hurley or Cronin cuss their team out and you like,
it's bad for the game, or this isn't good. Young people are different now, or you know.
If you haven't had a coach spit in your face before, then you just don't. Your opinion doesn't matter to me. I'm sorry. I mean,
you don't get it.
There's a reason that these guys all win, right? Like, you don't ever see coaches that are like that are like in like D3 and like have like a 300 career winning record. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I know you're a UCLA guy, but you obviously like Cronin, right?
Yeah.
I think he's hilarious. I think he is
he's got little man syndrome for sure.
It's 100%. Hilarious. And I don't really care because he wins. And I have watched that clip 1,000 times of him saying, "Are you raising your voice at me?" It's the funniest shit. Like, if you can't appreciate that.
Yeah, he's good for sound bites. He's at the end of the day, he said, "Look, they're paying me a lot to win. So what are we talking about? Like, what, you know, I'm getting the job done. Like, get out of my face." You know, I like when he ran and ejected his own player and then had to apologize for it later when you go to the camera and you're like, "Coach, he didn't really push him at all." Like, "Oh yeah, that's my bad."
Well, here's the thing. Like, he admitted that he made a mistake there, right? It's not like, so there was a lot of pearl clutching over that. I thought it was just ridiculous.
Yeah. No, I like him. I will say he's got maybe 2-3 more years before it's time to get a new voice in there. It's tough, man, to get the talent and to keep it, and it's definitely tough when your best player hurts his knee in the Big Ten tournament. I'll say that. But
Yeah, for sure.
overall, I like him. I like his dad. I like how they always show his dad, in the crowd or whatever.
Walking in with him today.
Yeah, just I always like that. But yeah, the Big Ten is definitely going crazy this year. But let's get into so Arkansas and Arizona. When you get down to the nitty gritty, you do have Arizona, not just because that's your bracket pick, but deep down, do you have Arizona? They're 8.5-point favorites, by the way.
I'm gonna be completely honest with you. If I had to pick this game today, I would pick Arkansas.
Fair.
I really would. Just and it's for one simple reason. Acuff is playing out of his mind.
Dude, yeah, agreed.
He's one of the best. He's one of the best guards I've seen in the last 5 years. I don't think that's a stretch. I mean, he's averaging 24 points a game, and not even factoring in what he did the other night. Somebody, I don't remember who it was that was announcing the game last weekend. But Acuff had like 37 points, and the TV commentator was like, it looks effortless too. Like he could have gone for 50 if he needed to.
Yeah.
And that's just the type of guy. And don't get me wrong, Arizona, Bradenberry's, Calipari, like they got dudes too. But I honestly think Darius Acuff is special. I think he'll be a top 5 pick. And I think talent like that in March with one of the greatest coaches of all time, with an experienced roster around him, with some great defense, veteran leadership, great coach. I got to go Arkansas.
He reminds me of, I'm not saying the exact playing style, but coming out of Marquette and the way he was able to get buckets where you're like, okay, this guy's probably going to be a good NBA player, is Dwayne Wade, where you're just like, okay, you watch a game and there's one guy out of 10 guys are running back and forth, and you're like, hold on, that one right there, that guy's different.
Yep.
And I remember watching Marquette, and I'm like, why am I watching Marquette? Oh, that's why I'm watching Marquette. Look at this dude.
Right.
Another guy was, I remember, especially now, I know he's got this like internal bleeding or whatever. I hope he gets to play soon. Cade Cunningham. I remember Cade Cunningham in college was like, okay, he just dove on the floor. He just had a no-look pass. He caught an alley-oop and then threw an alley-oop.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, good Lord, who is this guy? You know what I mean? It's like, guys like that, it translates to the next level.
That's what's special. I don't know if you remember. Well, I don't know if this would even be relevant to you at all. But my alma mater, Austin Peay, was in the Ohio Valley Conference, which is where Murray State is. And that's how everybody felt about Ja Morant. And
fair.
Before,
I remember.
Before him, campaign.
Yep.
So we had the pleasure of having to play against both of those guys. So it's just sometimes you can just tell, and Acuff is like that for me.
Yeah, no, 100%. I will take Arizona, but I am just, and I did pick them in my bracket, but we're talking these Sweet 16 matchups. So yeah, I will pick Arizona because I had them in my bracket. But again, we talk about these Sweet 16 matchups. I am just so stoked. This one again is chalk, number 4 versus number 1. But these are really, really good matchups that I'm just excited for, and I'll just be a fan of the game watching. If Arkansas wins, it'll be that story of, Arkansas. If Arizona wins, I'll be like, aha, I picked them. So either way, I'm happy.
You know what's funny about it, though, is like the only reason we complain about chalk is because of our brackets. Like, if from a pure basketball perspective, obviously, you're probably going to get a better game if 2 top seeds are playing each other, right? So people like a Cinderella, but if you have a 1 and a 4 or like a 1 and a 3, you're probably getting a pretty damn good game of basketball to watch.
And that's what this is about. Is, again, we talked about if your bracket goes down because of something crazy that happens, just remember it probably went down for a lot of other people too.
Right.
And real quick, I want to remind people our shenanigans for Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Remember, in a couple days, we're going to get back to movie madness. And then on Friday, back to basketball. That's what we're going through the Thursday matchups. Also, Bryce, I want to give you a chance real quick. I want to make sure we give people the opportunity to follow everything that you're doing. So let us know what's been going on in your world a little bit.
Yeah, so on X or Twitter, I still call it Twitter, at the 1796. We've been doing live on Twitter shows every week after a Vols game. So anytime the Vols are doing anything, check out us. We'll be doing something live, or we'll be posting videos. So anything Vols related there, we're kind of actually moving into. It's a Vols focused, but we're going to be doing just general sports talk stuff too. Like we do tier lists and stuff. So it's a lot of fun.
So you can talk about Gronk and Logan Paul and
yeah, great Druski's performance.
Yeah. Oh God, no, that's enough.
So how was the movie? How is the movie thing going?
So yeah, I'll explain a little bit how we're doing on that. So me and Ti were talking about what we want to do for our Wednesday shows through March, and I was like, what if we did Bracketology for something completely different? And I shot him over 6 ideas, and he's like, dude, I got this, say no more. And so within a day, he texted me back a bracket all like freaking pretty much already made of movies like Back to the Future versus Jaws, or Friday the 13th versus Scream, or whatever, right? And I was like, okay, we got something here.
That's pretty cool.
So then he texted a couple other buddies who have been on the show and have to do with film. One guy used to work with this guy. One guy ran into Keanu Reeves. This guy did some documentaries. Like, okay, well, let's bring them on. So that's kind of what we did. And so we're literally going through, all right, at the 1 seed is Jaws going against, Toy Story as the 16, whatever it is.
Right.
And we have the East bracket, the Midwest. We have everything like that. Drama, comedy. So everything breaks down. And so you have Dumb and Dumber going up against Step Brothers or whatever it is, right? And so that's how we're breaking it down. And we're just doing a lot like we're doing in basketball, one bracket at a time, and then we'll get to the Final Four when basketball gets to its Final Four. So this and every Wednesday during the tournament, that's what we're doing, is our March movie madness, because Ti also just kicked off recently Film Idiot Nation. So most are aware, Turtles Idiot Nation, Hoops Idiot Nation. Turtles Idiot Nation started as a joke and now has 8.
I know. I saw him.
Followers, dude.
I saw him talk about that.
Yeah.
Like it's like
wild, man.
One of his more like popular projects, and it was just a throwaway thing.
Titans Idiot Nation is going to be at 40,000 followers. Like when I met him, he was under 30. It was a big deal when he hit 30.
Wow.
When I met Ti. So, and he's going to be at 40 this year. So, all our stuff is trending. We're starting to get more views on the podcast as well. But yeah, I'm excited. Here's another, we'll leave with this. How much in heaven do you think I am that Netflix has decided to randomly put the opening Major League Baseball game on Netflix on a random day that no one else plays, and it happens to be the San Francisco Giants get to host a home game against, oh, no big deal, the Yankees. Like, dude, you can't ask for anything better. I get that everyone else who's not either a Giants or Yankees fan is like, what in the world is going on?
Yeah.
Get this off my TV. But you can imagine I'm in heaven.
So, do we have time for me to go on a quick little rant?
The floor is yours, Bryce.
So,
and that's our time for today. Gotcha, bitch.
So baseball was my first love. Okay, it's the sport. I was the best at. It's the sport that I played. Baseball was my first love. Okay,
I love baseball, man.
It's to the point now where I feel like the people that are in charge of making decisions for baseball actively hate it. Like, if you had 10 idiots who have never played baseball in their life and told them we're gonna do these changes, they would do better than what has been done. It's like they don't want people to get into baseball. So, like, me and you, obviously,
you're not a fan of Giants Yankees, huh?
No, look, it's not that. It's not that.
I get it.
It's the fact that the streaming rights stuff, the salary cap stuff, there's a million different things I could complain about. But like the Friday night Apple TV thing, like, okay, yeah, let's put a premier Friday night matchup on a streaming service that 38 people have. That'll get more fans.
Yeah.
That great job you're doing there. We're gonna put Yankees and Red Sox on Friday night on Apple TV with an announcer who has an annoying voice on a streaming service that nobody has. I don't understand it. I really don't get it. Yeah, I mean, at least it's Netflix, which most people have.
Most people do, because they put the fights on there. They put the roasts, from Tom Brady and this and that, and but yeah, it's just it's so funny. Again, if I was not a Giants or Yankees fan, I would be like, what is this? I'm not watching. I don't care. I'm not watching. And the fact that you put it on Netflix almost in a braggy way, like, well, it's on Netflix. Okay. Yeah. Like, there's a bit from Jim Gaffigan. He's like, I'm what they call indoorsy. And people are like, hey, you want to go camping? No. Hey, do you want to burn a few vacation days sleeping on the ground? No. What if I told you you'd wake up cold and in a rash? I still wouldn't want to go. It's the same thing. Hey, Giants Yankees, you win? No. What if I told you it was on Netflix? I still wouldn't want to watch. It's the same Jim Gaffigan bit. Now, I'm in heaven. I'm a Giants fan. They get a home game. Like, they never start the season at home, ever. They're always on the road. It's annoying. So I'm
like, you have a great coach to watch this year, too.
Hey, where's he from? Yep. So, and all the ladies say he's fun to look at. So I wouldn't know. I am a straight male. But yeah, well, and we had Gabe Kapler, who's like his twin brother also in the handsome realm. Yeah, so I'm like, okay, ladies, can we be done with that? But yeah, no, I am excited to see what he does, and Buster Posey kind of running some stuff. And I will say, dude, do you want to real quick talk through the Giants infield? Do you know the 4 guys on the infield for the Giants?
I honestly don't right now. Devers.
Okay, at first, they just picked up at second base Luis, I can't say his name. Okay. Hello, pretty good. Yeah. Shortstop, Adames, all he hit was 30 home runs last year.
Okay.
And then at third, Matt Chapman, who also did. Dude, hey, so you got bad.
So you got a perfect mix of elite defense and power.
I am not mad at it.
No.
I'm not mad at all. So
the Giants, listen, I'm a White Sox fan, so I have no horse in this race.
Yeah.
The Giants deserve to be good. They have a beautiful ballpark. They have a beautiful great history, amazing fan base. When the Giants are good, it's better for baseball. So I am in favor of the Giants being good. And also Tony V, wish him the best. So
yeah. No, that's awesome. All right, so be sure to follow Bryce on X, or if you are an old person, Twitter. If you're young, it's X. That's kind of where I'm at with it, because I still say both, basically. Reminder to follow us wherever you get your social media. Follow Film Idiot Nation and get us closer to 10,000 followers on Turtles Idiot Nation because it's hilarious. Because again, we started as a joke. New episodes of Sports Idiot Nation come to you every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, which means we will see you Wednesday. Thank you for watching this episode of Sports Idiot Nation. Remember, we are on all social media and on YouTube, and the podcast can be found on Spotify and Apple Podcast. Remember, new episodes are every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And remember, because you watch Sports Idiot Nation,
you would be the smartest idiot in the whole world.